Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the most highly anticipated episode of the podcast thus far. This is the IsaacBoyz podcast. Dwayne the Ghost, alongside Terrorizing, coming at you guys with episode 100.
100.
Episode 100, finally here. We made it to yet another milestone. It's pretty cool. Obviously we're all dressed up for this grandest occasion. We have the red carpet outside. It's paparazzi, all that. Not really, but
Not really.
But we're celebrating, even if it's just the two of us. I know you guys are celebrating with us. So as always, we do appreciate you guys, for sticking with us for all 100 episodes. There are some people that have actually listen to every episode, and those of you that have, we appreciate you. Those of you that joined this journey, some way along the way, we do appreciate you as well. But this is definitely has been and will continue to be a journey. We're pretty much just getting started, but this episode is gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah, this episode is going to be a little bit shorter format, but we're going to not really be touching on so much of the game stuff. We're just kind of be going down memory lane, talking about,
Some of the past episodes,
Yeah.
things that we
Stuff like that.
enjoyed, some of the most memorable moments, if you can remember anything. And definitely leave your comments for those of you that have been following the podcast. Drop some comments in the comment sections. Some of your favorite moments, some of your favorite episodes. Hell, you even tag them
there you go.
and all that good stuff.
And
But
of course, we have the
yeah, we got our champagne here to celebrate.
celebratory.
Gonna be busting that open.
Maybe not on camera because of the algorithm, but
Alrighty. And there's much to celebrate. So, without any further ado, of course, at episode 100, we are excited to see where we started, and to see the journey that we've gone along and where we're at today. It's quite incredible.
it's incredible to think. We very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
We've touched on it many times, and we're definitely going to touch on it more as we go on throughout the podcast. But when you think about where we started and where we are now, we actually have a somewhat of a studio here. You know what I mean?
Yep, a little studio setup. Versus where we started with, just an idea.
Yeah.
Just an idea, recording it, out of our car. That was the most quiet place you could find because, unbeknownst to most people, you need a nice quiet area to record.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much
Mics pick up.
Mics
different
pick up.
sound.
Yep.
You don't want a lot of background noise, and it's amazing how sound travels.
Yeah.
In open spaces.
Mm-hmm. One of the things we had to overcome very, very early on, and not only that, but the different mics we had over the years.
Different mics.
Different mic setups.
They have changed. They've completely. Actually, there was one set of mics that we've used for more than 50% of the podcast. Actually,
That we still have today. Not these, but
not these.
those are our pin-on mics.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those. I remember when we recorded out of the car, we had that attached like a popsicle stick or something.
Yep.
And kind of holding it.
Because we didn't really want to attach it to our clothes per se, because our bears probably would have rubbed against it a little bit. So we kind of had it just kind of extended.
And it was just one.
It was just one.
On
one
a popsicle stick.
One mic and a popsicle stick.
The first few episodes.
Yep.
So if you want to go back and listen to those, you can, have at it.
If your ears can take it.
If your ears can take it. But obviously very, very humble beginnings. And of course we didn't have the video set up then. Video came a lot later, but yeah, the early days were quite interesting. And our format was, I think, different back then too as well.
Our format was a lot different. We used to do a lot. It wasn't so heavy on the game stuff as much.
No.
It was. I mean, we did touch on game stuff when game stuff needed to be touched on, but it was more what we were up to kind of thing at the time. So back then we used to touch on more like what we did this weekend, what we have coming up next weekend, stuff like that. maybe the good ideas were a little more filled out back then because it was more.
Yeah,
Good
we had them
vibe.
planned out
Yeah.
for like. We had a whole list, and we would like every time we record, we just pick something off the list and touch on that.
And it was more. I mean, and again, it was during the pandemic, so everybody was just the state of the world was a lot different, and people just wanted to try to feel normal or know what other people were doing because we didn't really see each other much. You know what I mean? So it was a good way for us to kind of
inject some normalcy into most people's lives.
and just let people know how we were doing, and I guess a lot of it you'll get on there, you'll get our mental state. I guess at the time of the pandemic, we would try to uplift and be positive during the And of course there were some sad ones as well because during the pandemic we did lose some people, some friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, as far as memorable moments go, that was definitely one of them. I would say. Losing friends, and we're doing a tribute to them on the podcast. Of course, we're talking about Dion Phipps. If you go on the podcast, I don't remember the episode, but if you look up the Dion Phipps episode, that was we had a couple. We did a good ideas using one of his clips, and then we had some kind of a tribute to him. At the beginning of the episode. So it was a whole episode dedicated to him, and we took the monetization off of that episode. So we didn't make any money on it or anything like that, but pretty much a tribute to our friend. And his wife loved it. So
yeah, and I mean
she was very appreciative of it, and
that speaks volumes.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, as we go down through this memory lane, we're gonna, bring you guys all that kind of nostalgic.
For some of you that has been watching from day one, I'm sure you're gonna remember a lot of these moments.
But before we go into that, so let's kind of recap the weekend for the most part.
Yeah.
We had a very interesting week.
Good week.
Great week. Things are rocking here at the lounge.
As per usual.
As per usual. You guys are probably getting sick of hearing us say that at this point, but we say that to not to pat ourselves on the back, but it's more so as us being grateful, for every little penny that we make. Anytime somebody comes through our doors and spends money, whether great or small, we appreciate it all. And every week we say that as a way of saying thank you. It's more of an appreciation. Another good week is just us saying thanks to people coming in,
people that come through,
and
all our supporters that
like what we do and want to spend money with us. Thanks. This is what keeps the doors open. This is what keeps us going.
So what progresses our culture, keep things moving in the right direction. So it was a pretty good week. Outside of the usual the improvement in foot traffic, we also got a few more member some month passes.
Yeah.
Good volume overall.
Yeah.
This is it was tax weekend, so crunching down and getting our taxes done has been
very stressful.
Very stressful. Us being first time business owners. Well, at this scale anyway.
Brick and mortar business owners.
Yeah. So it was quite the challenge. Still not 100%, but we did get an extension in the Virgin Islands, so which is due tomorrow. So that's gonna be great. Taking care of that. But outside of that, doing some other other celebrations. Some huge announcements took place over the weekend.
Yep.
I was told to keep it tight-lipped, but kind of thinking if I should or not.
Yeah. She doesn't really listen anyway.
Very good point. Yeah, I'm gonna be a father apparently.
There
Breaking news.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a daddy, and I'm looking forward to it.
As am I. So it's really one of those things where I no one can really, and any father can say, oh, look out for this, look out for that, but it really doesn't matter in my opinion. It doesn't matter what anybody says. It really doesn't.
It's its own experience.
It's its own experience, and you're gonna, no matter how prepared you are, there's always gonna be things that come up unsuspectingly. So unexpectedly.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
it just is just one of those things. You just have to go through it to really understand what it's all about, and you're definitely gonna feel some emotions you've never felt. That definitely you can look forward to, because it's without saying, it's without question. There's gonna be times where you're gonna feel things you've never felt in your entire life.
Yep.
100%. That I can guarantee you. You'll never there's gonna be moments where you'll never feel as happy as that, like that, like before, and there's moments you'll never feel as angry as you ever felt like that before. So there's a full spectrum of emotions that you're gonna go through as a father, and I look forward to witness every moment.
Yeah. Pretty excited about the whole thing. I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to my baby girl.
Yep.
She is on the way.
It's gonna be a little girl. So there you go. Life in this world continues, for the next generation is up and coming.
Yep. So that was all this weekend. Part of the celebrations and things to be happy. But so, life's good.
Lots to
And of
celebrate.
course, the 100th episode, another great thing to celebrate. And
Yeah, I mean, we had decent watch party as well.
oh yeah,
the
we had a
side.
UFC. Had a UFC as well.
It was literally on the same day, so it was a little weird, but
It managed.
It managed,
we had
it's
some new people, taking part in the UFC. And it wasn't even a pay-per-view, but it was,
Mhm. It's just been a very, very busy week this week. Extremely busy.
Yep, the weekends are starting to get like that. And we're rolling right into Carnival.
It's gonna get worse,
It's going to get worse.
and by worse, we mean better.
Very much. Which is why we're I know we mentioned it before, but we are, underway with our upgrades and our, our things that we're doing, because things are improving. So we're taking those revenue and improving our product.
Yep.
Making some more stations available. Improving all
Overall look
overall look and
and
everything.
feel, and how things operate in the lounge.
It's gonna be a good.
Looking forward. Yeah.
It's gonna be a cool little vibe. Can't wait to see everything come to fruition. But unfortunately, it probably will all be finished after Carnival.
After Carnival, yeah.
Which is whatever. Which is is what it is. But at least with the traffic that we get from Carnival, whatever membership signups and all that, it'll come just in time for all of that. So
Yep.
looking forward to that. And yeah,
Yeah. Again.
the Avian Troll continues to roll.
Yeah.
Train.
Train.
Did I say troll?
I guess you were trying to rhyme there, but I guess you didn't really think it through too much. But
I'm not a rapper.
well, yeah, man. Very, very excited for the even the next up and coming weekend, because a lot of new things we're working on as well. And in terms of improving, we're with the new memberships coming on. That just means more foot traffic, and with more foot traffic, it's funny how foot traffic brings more foot traffic, because one person comes in, checks it out, they bring a friend the next time, and then maybe they don't come back the next time, but that friend has brought now two friends, and it's just a domino effect of
Just goes viral.
and I think we're actually in a. It's funny how the last, I would say the last couple month passes / memberships we're getting is just kind of organically growing. And it's funny how we're getting this little boom right before Carnival, so it's definitely going to pick up even more. And all that activity, just our goal is to translate that into dollars. So
Yep.
keep the doors open,
100%.
and all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. And I know we mentioned it last week as well, but we do have our tournament coming up
Mhm.
on May 1st as well. Got some signups for those, so those of you that are thinking about it, we are getting, it's both Brawlhalla and Mortal Kombat. We got signups for both, so anyone thinking about it and interested, swing by, get signed up. We're doing a special if you want to be a part of both. There's discounted pricing for that as well, so definitely check that out if that's your cup of tea and it's up your alley. Which it's gonna be good times. We haven't done a tournament in a while. We're looking forward
It's
to
been a
that.
long time, and people were asking me why we chose Brawlhalla over other games, like for instance Smash. or
We've done
you know,
Smash
we've
many
done
times.
Smash many times, and the thing is, we've actually we've bumped into more Smash players now, so and they want us to do a Smash tournament, but it's like we're going to Smash again. I mean, eventually, I guess we will have to.
We are, but maybe another.
But it's just
so.
we want to getting back into tournaments slowly but surely, and we're starting off with something small like Brawlhalla. I think it works perfectly. There's a lot of people that come to the lounge to play it. It just makes sense. It may not make sense to some people, but it may definitely make sense to us.
Mm-hmm.
And once we can make it work, I think that'll be good.
Yep.
Also, and other tournament stuff, we are planning, still in the works, working out the details of starting to do Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments here as well.
Mm-hmm. Based on all the Yu-Gi-Oh traffic we've been getting,
we've getting a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh traffic recently, and it's just a matter. It's definitely about time we started doing something special for them. So other than having the product here, obviously they love that, but actually doing some fun activities for them, something interactive, something that gets gets them excited, gets the juices flowing. That love for Yu-Gi-Oh, just keeps it strong and prominent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're still working out whether we're gonna do it
bi-weekly or
whether
monthly.
it's monthly, bi-weekly, maybe even weekly. If it's super exciting and we'll get our feet wet. Maybe we'll do one, maybe. I don't know. We're still not certain on the date, but maybe after the tournament. Maybe it might even be before then. Who knows? We'll probably do one, see how it goes, and if it goes as well as I think it's gonna go,
come up with a schedule.
Come up with a proper schedule. Maybe I think bi-weekly seems to be the most.
Makes the most sense.
Makes the most sense because it's people get paid bi-weekly, so it'd be easier for signups. Also, bi-weekly gets people enough time to rearrange their work schedule, so it could work. And maybe and because it's something that's gonna be done frequently. Maybe you miss the first one, catch the next two. I mean, it all depends, and we're definitely gonna have prizes. And the goal is to get as much prizes paid out as possible. Like we want this to be something not just the top guys are always gonna just take home all the prizes every day. Every week. Only the top decks are winning kind of thing. I want to make sure that it's the prizes are set up so that people are getting prizes all the way through. And people that even people that doesn't have decks that are maybe not as competitive as some of the top decks, could still get some benefit, for coming to the tournament. So all those details are in the works. How I have it set up in my mind, I think it will work. I think it worked very well. We have tried to do Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments before. Other people have in conjunction with some other people. We're trying to do it before. It didn't really quite work, but I think now we have I think now I came up with like a good winning formula
yeah.
that works for all parties involved.
Yep.
So definitely looking forward to if you're into that. So if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, definitely listen out for those details.
Coming soon,
and I think we may be onto something. So.
Yep.
Definitely looking forward to that.
All that good stuff. So. But yeah. Getting right into our celebratory episode here. We've had quite the journey, along the way. As far as obviously with 100 episodes, there's a progression to all of this, and we mentioned our humble beginnings before, but I think the where the podcast really started to take off is when we got our first set of office space.
Yes. So
that's when we, which for those of you that remember, if you watch the vlog or anything, we did do the video of, where we, of us setting up our office and everything, and it was a pretty cool little office, pretty cool little space.
I actually missed that office.
Yeah.
It was a nice little office. I mean, technically, we could set this up like that, but
it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't have the shelves and the
It just had a nice vibe. That office had a really good vibe. And again, we started out, recording in the car, and it was, the sound quality could only get us so far. So we decided to get an office, and we looked all over, and we settled on a little spot here. and the price wasn't bad, and full disclosure, our wives weren't 100% on board.
They weren't thrilled about it, but
I mean, I can't blame them either, because it's like, we're
we were just kind of experimenting. Like we weren't. It's not like we were making money on the podcast yet or anything.
Yeah.
Like that, so it was like just kind of doing this thing. We're spending money, to improve our product, but weren't seeing any initial
return on those investments, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but we obviously we were working at the time, and at the time, it was different times. Money was a lot more, fluid back then. Back in the good old days.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, whatever. We'll just get an office.
Figure it out. And then, of course, discovering that we had some of the same issues that we had before, which is the sound.
Yep.
So we had to start looking into sound
soundproofing
solutions.
And the easiest solution was not what we settled on initially. We settled the solution we settled on. We thought would be easier, but ended up being just more work. Was we started to build our own soundproofing panels, which we still have to this some.
We have one of them still.
One of.
Which was a very, very cheap rig, but they were done in a way where if you kept the office, it didn't look cheap.
It didn't look cheap.
But it was very,
extremely cheap. Well, not extremely cheap.
Knocked up together, very,
And, it was our first encounter with carpentry, I guess, because we nailed those boards together ourselves.
Yep, we nailed those boards together. We struck up, a bunch of towels and sewed them together and, block up the windows.
Yep.
Started, trying to cover the walls, the best we could.
And we had different panels, and we had even panels inside the room because, the room was still large enough. It was still a little bit echoey. Too echoey for our liking, so we kind of had some panels close to us, kind of made a little enclosure so we could, record. And
oh man, those are fun memories. We never did do a behind the scenes back then.
We never did a behind the scenes back then. It would have
been cool to kind of for people to see what all that looked like,
but we did have guests that back then that definitely saw what behind the scenes looked like. So there's that.
Yeah, throughout the years we had a number of guests on the podcast. And we've all wanted to do more
of that, yeah.
But things never worked out the way we want them to, unfortunately. But now going forward we'll get that done. But as far as guests, we've had some of my favorite ones are probably my old manager. Having him on, and which is a very interesting experience because this is someone that used to be like your higher up, your supervisor, and we've back in the day we've had some issues. We've butted heads a few times. We've always had a good relationship. Always been good or whatever. And we have similar interests. He's into some of the same stuff that we're into. So having him on there, and hearing his support for everything that we're doing, it was great. And just he always stops by from time to time. We're just sitting down and going over whatever it was at the time that we were watching, and the MCU and all that stuff. Always fun to sit down. And if you guys wanted to get back and listen to the episode, that's the guest, of course, I'm talking about is Gabriel Knight. You can look up the Gabriel Knight episode. Give that a listen. I'm sure it's good times.
Yeah.
I think what are some of your
all of our guest episodes? I think if you want a breath of fresh air on the podcast, go back and listen to those. Those were definitely a different vibe. Just having somebody else in the room just definitely changes the vibe.
Yep.
Dramatically.
Yep, we've had Wolfman on a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I think he's been on once or twice. I think once.
Once, okay, yeah. We've had Duran on a few times.
Yep.
Right? I think it was more than once.
More than once? I don't know. Maybe once.
I think
it was once.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But yeah. Any of those episodes you can where we're inviting our friends. Where we look up the episodes where we invite friends to.
Yeah, and they're all they're all in the description. They have the guest names
and stuff like that. We've also had John. The one episode with John was a good one as well too.
That was a very good one. I think that's one of my favorite. As far as good ideas. The entire episode was pretty good because he's kind of telling a story, which even though we were close friends, we I had an idea of his story, but we didn't know his story in detail. That was a very enlightening episode. Get to hear some of the things that he went through and some of the challenges that and all that good stuff that he had to overcome.
That definitely is a
solid episode.
I know we were doing a lot of callback episodes, but definitely, if you had to choose one callback episode, I think that would be the one. I think that'll be a good. That was a good one.
100%, and that's, I guess, of course, we're gonna have on again really soon. But
yeah, we mentioned last week, moving forward, our direction, we're gonna start having more guests on and kind of change on those guest episodes. It's gonna change the vibes a bit. It's gonna be, kind of getting an idea of speaking to local gamers, their interests, what they're looking forward to, and
pretty much just sit down and talk video games with them, and have them, they can kind of promote whatever they have going on at the time, or
whether it's streaming or if they're into music, if they have, stuff like that.
Yep. To kind of improve not just nerd culture but VI culture on a whole.
Yeah.
As far as all the young people, kind of giving them a platform,
give them a voice.
Kind of giving our people
a voice.
A voice.
Yeah. We just think that would be a a good direction to go. I mean, we're still gonna give you your gaming stuff when when need to, and obviously the Fight Talk stuff is always gonna be there. But just improving our product in that way, I think, could not just improve our listener base per se, but also improve whatever they have going on. I mean, not that we have the
Joe Rogan numbers,
or anything like that, but it's. I think it could be a mutually beneficial thing, and for some of our abroad listeners, they get a chance to, get into a little bit of the mindset of people in the Virgin Islands. Even though there's a lot of negative stereotypes for young Virgin Islanders, it gives you a different. I think, or I hope that it will give you it'll broaden your horizons on what you think, a nerd in the VI would be or should be, or So definitely looking forward to, and we already have our first guest lined up, and it's probably it's someone that no one even expect. You're like, if you're pretty much familiar with our circle of friends, you're probably thinking, okay, which one of these friends it could be? It's none of them. Yeah, it's completely someone fresh, someone new. Yeah, and he is willing to do it, and he was very honored that we asked him to do it, and I look forward to a great response, and who knows? We'll set it up so it goes.
And we'll knock out a couple of them on the next one.
Yeah, we're going to try to get a couple of those episodes out. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be a good vibe. And I definitely look forward to having that, that fresh energy in the room.
Change of pace.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys are tired of just hearing us talk all the time. So it gives you guys, somebody else to listen to. And you'll also probably hear more of our accent come out then, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Sure.
I mean, this is how I talk, regardless of who I talk to. But every now and again, when I speak to somebody from the VI, it comes out a little bit better.
Yep. We try to keep it, business professional here on the podcast.
Yeah, try to keep it.
Because our listener base is not just here in the Virgin Islands.
Try to keep it very, audible, where you can, easy to understand.
Another interesting thing about the podcast that people may not be aware of is our listener base does extend quite a bit to territories and places that, unless you're following the podcast, heard us mention it before, you would know this. So I'm just gonna kind of go through, to date, what our analytics are as far as demographic. Now, 76% of our listeners are in the United States. I think that goes without saying. 20% is from the Virgin Islands. So we do have 20% Virgin Islands.
Makes sense.
We do have 1% coming out of the British Virgin Islands.
Interesting.
Thank
you guys for listening.
Another 1% coming out of Ireland still to this day. Since early on the podcast, we've had some Irish listeners apparently. And they still apparently still listen because it's still a solid 1%.
Thank you guys for listening.
The rest of them are less than 1%, but some of the areas that we've extended to goes as follows. We've extended to Germany, the United Kingdom, Romania, Barbados. Oh, wow. Russia. Didn't know that.
Well,
that's a new one.
You know why they're listening.
That's a new one. Portugal, Turks and Caicos Islands, St. Kitts Nevis, Australia, Puerto Rico, Spain, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, the U.S. minor outlying islands, Mexico, India, Canada, Brazil, and Panama.
Shout out to all those countries.
Shout out to all those countries that listen, but it's very interesting and humbling to think that
if you're from any of those countries, please give us hit us up with a message. I would love to hear from who these our listeners are from all over the world.
Yeah,
and let us know. We'll probably send you a shirt or something.
Yeah, hit us up. That's quite interesting. Some other things just to kind of throw out some more information on the podcast that see if whether you know or not. I mean, this goes without saying, but 82% of our listeners are male.
Go figure.
13% are unspecified, which it could be male or female.
Or non-binary.
And only 5% are female.
Womp.
Not a big hit with the ladies, apparently. JK. And 66% of our listeners are between the ages of 28 and 34. We do have a whopping 20% our listeners are between the ages of 35 and 44.
Interesting.
Another 10% is between the ages of 45 and 59.
Interesting.
And 2% are between the ages of 23 and 27. So we have, we know our numbers, our demographic is very obvious, males between the ages of 28 and 34.
Makes sense.
That's majority of who listens to this. And where people are listening, I would say 37% is on Spotify. Obviously, we our partnership with Spotify. We have 7% from Apple Podcasts, 6% from Castbox, 6% from Anchor.
I like Castbox.
Yeah. And another 3% from the web browser.
Interesting.
Another 3% from Overcast. And 39% of the rest is just other. So other platforms that's not listed here.
Interesting.
Yep. It's good to know your numbers. That's the demographics. Those numbers have changed over the years. I do remember, when what was it? When Sinkins and Nevis was higher up on our listener base. They've got, outshadowed by other countries now. But some cool stuff. Some of our top episodes to date are as follows. The episode, the fight talk that was on October 19th, 2020. That's our number one episode.
What did we cover in that episode?
I don't remember. But it's our number one episode, according to our numbers. Episode 36, coming in at number 2. The very first fight talk we ever did, the very first our good ideas we ever did, is our number 3 best episode.
Interesting.
And our very first episode is coming in at number 4, our pilot episode. And episode 31 is coming in at number 5. Those are our top 5 episodes, apparently. Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know.
Some interesting facts about the podcast, but it's interesting, man. Going down memory lane and seeing all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and it's exciting to see the direction that we're going in now, and how things are going to change quite a bit.
Things are going to change quite a bit. I'm looking forward to all the change and all the improvements, mostly. Because, a lot of those numbers, even though we're not, the biggest podcast or anything like that, still a lot of room for growth. And, honestly, the podcast, speaking very candidly, it's something that we do, and it's something that we enjoy doing. But, at times it could be could become a little bit of a chore sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy that now we're with this new found energy, and now that we've reached episode 100, and you
Mm.
know the changes that we're going to be implementing. I'm looking forward to the improvements that we're going to make, and it being less of a chore and more of a fun thing we do.
Yep.
You know.
For those of you that were wanted the information, I just had it here. The Dion Phipps episode is, I think it's episode 12.
Was that far back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Episode 12 is the Dion Phipps episode, and we did do good ideas from him as well. That's the good ideas following that episode.
Interesting. Didn't realize it was that far back.
Yeah. Episode 12.
Did a lot of episodes since then, huh?
Done a lot of episodes since then. Yep. Another fun episode, or to me, one that was interesting was one of my favorite fight talks anyway. Was the Khabib retirement.
Yep.
Episode.
That was a fun one, yeah.
That was definitely a fun one. Not only because it was a monumental achievement by him, but we did some special tributes to him and everything on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we even did a good ideas, using a message from Khabib as well, which was pretty dope.
I definitely enjoyed making that episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one, yeah.
I wonder I'm trying to see what episode that was. I'm kind of going through them.
You got 100 of them to go through, sir.
This is true. 100 plus when you consider fight talks and good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a lot of good stuff, man. As I'm scrolling through this, is a lot of memories. But yeah, that one was the fight talk on November 27th. Actually, was that one of our top episodes? Yeah, I think that was that one.
I don't know.
Could have been.
Makes sense.
But yeah, that's from episode 37. Yeah, episode 37 was the one where Khabib, did his retirement, and we did the fight talk, which did kind of a tribute to him, and also the good ideas that week was from Khabib himself. So yeah, that was a good one. Good stuff all the way around.
And he managed to stay retired. Most
stay
fighters that retire, they usually come out of retirement, shortly after. But he managed to stay retired. So
He gained a ton of weight too.
he is huge now.
Massive.
He's huge now.
Almost doesn't look like the same person.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Good life will do that to you.
Good life will do that to you. But also another thing that projects that we keep talking about, but we are gonna get back to, of course, is our vlog.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna do something special for episode 100. To commemorate episode 100 in our next vlog. So definitely look out for that. We're gonna try to roll into a schedule where we do vlogs. At least once a month. Kind of as
That's always been the goal. I remember at one point we used to do them weekly.
Yep. At one point when we first started the vlog,
We used to pump
were
up
weekly
vlogs,
vlogs.
and that was a bit much. Monthly we should be able to get done.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
A weekly vlog.
That's when we were just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Before we had a podcast, before we had anything. We had that. There's another episode.
If you guys are looking for more Videogame content, definitely check out their old vlogs. A lot of good stuff on there. You really get to see the progression of this whole thing.
Yeah, the vlog will definitely do that.
Not just also in the quality, like the vlogs. They start off very. As a matter of fact, actually not really, because a lot of the older vlogs had some really good. There was some
good editing.
surprisingly good editing.
We got lazy over the years.
Yeah, we got yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, ton of cool stuff there. But overall, I'm liking, like I said, where we're at. I'm liking the new direction. I'm glad we stuck with it, throughout the years. And another memorable episode that obviously goes without saying is episode 50, which was a big milestone for us when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have a bunch of people, drop some messages and things like that, and that was, well received. We got messages this time around, but because of how our new format is, can't really air them.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But yeah, all the kind words are definitely well received, and who'd have thought, when we hit that episode 50 that, we'd still be going. I mean, we said it then, and then, there were ups and downs since then, so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard some of the ups and downs. I mean, whether it's 1 week our mics are a little jacked up, sound quality is not as good as last week, or 1 week, Monday goes by and you guys are like, where's the podcast? You're like, it's, things happen, things happen.
It's part of the process.
Yep.
But it's the podcast has become a staple for a lot of people. A lot of people, there are some people that listen to only good ideas, which is cool if that's your thing. Some people that only listen to Fight Talk, and then there's the true hardcores that listen to everything. Which, for those that haven't really noticed or whatever, the setup of the podcast, how we divided it up. I mean, it was kind of sporadic in the earlier days, but we want to make sure that we try to get like some good ideas, some Fight Talks throughout episodes as they come. We want to make it organic as possible. So we for the Fight Talks we split those up and drop them as a separate episode, just for people that just want the MMA stuff. Can go straight to that. And that's where the Fight Talk comes in, and all the good idea stuff, all the positive messages, and all that good stuff. That's all you want. We drop that separately as well. They don't always come, but when they do, they're always it's always good stuff and always well received. So.
And of course, with all the success that we have had, not just at VIVN on a whole, but on the podcast, we look for. We're not, we haven't made it by any stretch of the imagination. There's still a lot of room for improvement, a lot of room for growth, and we look forward to that next step. We look forward to where we have ridiculous numbers, and when it comes to listeners and stuff like that, and it's I mean, I don't really see us as influencers per se. Like, I don't want to use that term to describe myself.
Yeah.
But if something we says has influenced you, I get it. I mean, I say that to say like, if we ever reach that point where we're, like hundreds of thousands of people are hanging on our every word, then,
that'd be humbling.
It would be humbling.
Again, this started out as just a side project just for us to, especially the Fight Talk stuff, because we talk so much MMA with different people and having the same conversations over and over again. We're just like, we'll just throw it on air. That way everyone can get our thoughts and keep it moving. But yeah, for something that started out as just a side project to see where it is today, it's kind of cool, and it's only getting better. Like we said, besides just having the guests, we are making some improvements to the podcast as well. We are going to be moving to a few, a new platform, or platforms rather. We're going to be of course, posting the podcast. It's going to be coming to Twitch.
Yep. So
for those of you that are on our Twitch following, you are going to get, to see the podcast there if that's your thing. If whenever you're on Twitch and it drops, you can check that out there. And of course, we're all going to be posting some. If you're on the Discord, that's the best way to keep up with everything VIVN. A lot of stuff get posted there as well, but also on our Patreon as well, where we want to do more content there. But we have to come with different ideas that's some exclusive ideas, which we have played around with doing. The thought of doing a separate podcast just for Patreon, but that's been up or down. It still can happen, but it depends, because the way life is set up right now, it could be a little tough. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure out some content for you guys to put on Patreon, get you guys that exclusive
stuff.
Yeah, but 100%. Everything that we had going on from day one. We've had some supporters that have been riding with us from the beginning.
From day one, yep.
And for those of you guys that do that and have been not only supporting with your views but supporting with your comments, your hard-earned dollars, all that stuff, we do appreciate all of that, because you guys are the one that's keeping this thing going. Like, I mean, if we didn't have the supporters that we have, the podcast would be a lot less, improved as it is, or maybe not even be around.
Exactly. We probably wouldn't even make it to 100 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. So, all of you, and it doesn't matter, the dollar amount really, because there are some people that have been paying, $1, but for years, There's some people that are paying, $10 for years, or whatever the case is. So, every little bit counts. We do appreciate every little bit of it, because that's the lifeblood of what keeps this thing rolling. So,
yep.
For those of you that are listening, and we have a bunch of listeners from all over. For those that are listening that aren't, supporters, consider becoming a supporter, because that way, we can, make some more improvements. Whatever you see, with the podcast, it's not the best that we can do, but it's the best that we can do with what we have.
Exactly.
So, the more,
we have, the more we can do.
The more we have, the more we can do.
It's the best way to put it.
Yep. But yeah, with all things considered, think it's gonna be soon time to bust open this bottle of champagne.
Yep.
Not on air.
Yep.
Celebrate the 100th episode. Like we said, this one is gonna be a bit of a shorter one. It's just more of a commemorative episode. Just more of a kind of a touch point. This is again only the beginning. We do have more things on the horizon. Not just IBPC wise, but we're gonna be rolling out some new stuff for VIVN. We're working on some new merch. We're gonna be potentially working on a video game, and a lot of collaborative projects on the horizon, and more tournaments, more content, all that good stuff. So we do look forward to all of that, and we do thank all of you for continuing to listen, for tuning in, for giving us your undivided attention whenever you see IBPC has a new episode. From the bottom of my heart, it's been quite the ride, and it will continue to be a ride, continue to be the journey. We're, looking forward to 100 more episodes, and hopefully by then,
episode 200, yeah.
we'll look back at this episode as one of our memorable moments.
Yep.
With Touchpoint episode. So, anything else you want to say before we close out? For the fans, the people.
I think you said it best, but I'm definitely gonna add to that. Like my brother said, thank you guys for all the support. We definitely wouldn't make it this far without you guys, and we look forward to your continued support. Definitely share the podcast with someone. Maybe it may be their cup of tea. Maybe it may not be their cup of tea. That's fine. It's maybe they find us boring. Or maybe they're into video games and something we says excites them.
Yep.
Either way, share the podcast. You never know until you know. And again, like we've been telling you guys since day one, all criticism is definitely accepted, whether good or bad. We will we'll take it all. You know what I mean? Because that's how we improve. If you're afraid to get criticized, then you'll never improve. You continue to think that your way is the best way. So if there's any way that we can improve our product, definitely let us know. If you say, hey man, that last episode was definitely boring, greatly appreciate it.
Yep. You should let us know what improvements you can make, because it's through our improvements why we're going in the direction that we're through our criticism is why we're going in the direction that we're going now. So
exactly. So shout out to all you guys that support us, that's been supporting us on this journey. We have a lot of day ones. Shout out to all you guys. We love you guys. You guys have been nothing but awesome to us. All the supporters and all the new supporters that we're going to get, and all the ones we've lost, for all of it, we just thank you guys for everything. Definitely appreciate you guys. And not a whole lot more needs to be said.
Yep. With that, as always, you guys continue to be good to each other. Continue to stay safe out there. We'll continue to rock and roll here at the IsaacBoyz podcast. IsaacBoyz out. Peace.